man. Detroit versus everybody, man. Detroit, we rep the hardest, man. We gain the hardest. You know what it is, man. Detroit, CJ, holla at your boy when we get home.
All right, Mike Tyson exposes Jermall Charlo on Hotboxin. His My Boxing podcast on YouTube. All right. Yeah, it's like multiple celebrities coming on, and they sit down, and sometimes they smoke. They smoke weed and stuff, and he has different, co-hosts rotate in. He had an NFL player, I think, from the Rams rotating in last episode, and in this episode, he had Paul Pierce on there, where ESPN thought Paul Pierce career was gonna go down the drain, but he on FanDuel commercials. I mean, he doing a lot of different stuff out there, and in this interview, he exposed them. He exposed them in his interview because Jermall Charlo was up in there scared to call people out. He said, I want to see you fight the Mexican monster. He got tired of Mike Tyson calling David Benavidez the Mexican monster. He said, well, Mike, it don't work that way no more. He said, you get up there and do what Roberto Duran did, disrespect somebody's family, disrespect their kids, disrespect their mother. He said, you do what you do, I'm paraphrasing, to get the fight. And he like, Mike, it ain't like that no more, man. You got to go through managers. You got to go through promoters. You got to go through networks. And Mike say, if two fighters want to fight, they're going to fight. That's what Mike said. If two fighters want to fight, they're going to get in there and fight. He said, he did that with Michael Spinks. He said Michael Spinks was on a whole different network. He was on a different network. He said, well, they both said that if we ain't fighting, if I'm not fighting him and he not fighting me, we not fighting. I don't care. Lose the belts, strip the belts. He said, and they made the fight happen. And they made the fight happen. So all this talk about, that he can't fight this, and then he refused to call him out several times on the show. Several times on the show, this man refused to call out Canelo Alvarez. He refused to call out David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? He refused to strap his nuts on and call him out. And he kept saying, well, Mike, it ain't like that. What you mean it ain't like that no more? Case in point, he said, well, he was talking about how they don't have control of their careers no more. Charlo kind of said, I believe he said that. And what he was getting at was that Al Heyman has full control. That's what he was getting at. He was getting at that Al Heyman had full control. I remember Bernard Hopkins said that he told them dudes, when he started working with Al as a fighter, to get control back of y'all career. And that's what he was hitting at. He was hitting at that they don't control their careers. They don't pick that. He said that I don't pick my fights. But Mike was saying, if two fighters, if y'all really want to fight, y'all can fight. And then he turned around, so we offered him $100 million, But then again, per example, right? Gary Russell put his whole arm. He put his whole arm around Leo Santa Cruz's father, and they still didn't fight. But the rumor on the street was that Gary Russell kept asking for welterweight, big money to fight Leo Santa Cruz, and he was the reason that Leo didn't fight. Leo said he wanted to fight, and I heard that to be the truth. Y'all know I despise Leo Santa Cruz and his ducking. I hear that he the nicest guy, but shit, I don't really care about if you nice, you reckless, whatever. I just want to see some of these top fights start to happen. It don't have to be all the top fights that gotta happen. Just give me some. I would like to see all of them happen, but that never happened in the history of boxing. All the top fights just start happening at once. There is some talk, there is some room for marination sometimes. But the amount of marination they doing 4 or 5 years, you eat that meat, you gonna die. It Mike asked him several times in the interview, hey, what you want to say? You want to call him? I call him mother out. And he sit here and he get the mumbling, and it ain't like that, and this, that, and the third. And Paul Pierce talking about, I seen you at the plant fight, and you was talking about, you sound like you was talking junk. I don't know what you were saying to Canelo, but it sounded like he was like, bro, this dude don't want to fight. But then he turned around in an interview with the zone, and talking about not everybody signed to fight. Not everybody signed to fight. That's fight. Benavidez signed to fight Lemieux. Andrade moved up to 68 to fight Zach Parker for the interim belt. Now he want to call everybody out. Now everybody signed to fight in this DAZN interview. I don't know when this Tyson interview was when it was taped, but we talked about this. Now he opened to a box off to earn the Canelo fight. He didn't say nothing about that in that interview. And I don't care if it was aired, if they taped it last year. What's changed between last year and now? But it had to be taped soon because he said Canelo didn't take the $100 million. So he said, I'm just living my dream to the zone. There was a lot of talk about Canelo. We offered him $100 million. I didn't get the fight, Jermall said to the Boxing Zone show. He said, I had 8 or 9 fights that fell through the week. So I know how boxing goes. I'm the champ. They're going to have to fight me, and they're going to have to answer the call one day. He said, quote, who in my weight class want to fight? That's the thing. I'll do it. I definitely down. Jermall said about moving up to 168. Quote, I'm down to go to any weight class, any network. I'm down to be great. Do you know what I'm saying? He said, I'll fight on any network as long as they watch it. It's not going to do me any harm. I don't know what the business is with Demetrius Andrade. They might think it's Jermall Charlo being complicated. That nigga gone. He said Demetrius Andrade was supposed to fight my brother, and they talking about something that happened decade ago. He backed out. I'm not running from anybody. I moved up to 60. Demetrius Andrade had a belt at 60. We could have been unified. He moved up 68 now. So who is he fighting at 68? Now he done moved up. He want to fight him, right? He says, I'm in a division where I can fluctuate, where I can go, I fluctuate where I want to go. I feel Canelo, I understand what Canelo was going through. Everybody wants to fight Canelo. Everybody wants to check. He said, quote, I understand him saying we got to do a box off. That's what we had to do in the amateurs. It's not something we're unfamiliar with. They're having all the young boys and small boys coming up in my weight class. Then they're going to say, I'm picking on people. He said, quote, he said, I got to go up to heavyweight to get respect. If we do a box off, then let's stage it. Quote, I got money. I'll do that too. I'd entertain that. Jermall asked when if he's interested in fighting Caleb Plant. He said, quote, probably Benavidez is the biggest challenge, said Charlo, when asked who he pick if he could pick anyone to fight. Probably not, said Benavidez when asked if he get credit for beating Benavidez. He failed drug tests, missed weight, lost his belts. He said, I quote, I love it when Charlo asks, when he asked about his thoughts on Canelo going up to 175 pounds to challenge Dimitri Bubba. It's entertainment. Who wouldn't want to go up and get all the belts? I'm ready. It's going to happen sooner or later. Charlo said about fighting Canelo. I'm going to get my breakthrough. Like I said he living a dream. You just heard all that bull job that he just said. You heard that bull job, bro? He said, what about him picking Beevil? I love it. David Benavidez signed to fight. Now, I'll fight him. Demetrius Andrade signed to fight. He gone. Oh, you moved up in weight. See, we could have fought. We could have unified. Mike Tyson begged him to call people out. He sat there and said nothing. Well, anybody that want to fight me, he don't want to fight nobody, bro. He perfectly comfortable cashing the checks that he getting. He's perfectly comfortable doing what he doing. It's gonna take for him to lose to really want to go fight. It's gonna take for him to lose to really get in there and mix it up with somebody. So I'm not surprised, bro. Mike Tyson, he talking about Mike, it ain't like that no more. We can't call people out like that. And, it's a different day. What's different about challenging a man's masculinity, challenging a man's heart? What's different about that in 86 to now? What's different about if you can't get him to sign a contract, to publicly shame him and to sign the contract? Like, what's different about that? What's different about that? What's different about playing the dozens? That's all you doing. And after the fight, it's all love. Unless you get too personal, like Adrian Broner and Sean Porter, it's all love. It's all love. It's entertainment. It's only entertainment. What Jay-Z said. Now, if you get too personal, the show, it is what it is. Like Cobra got under Hector Luis Garcia's skin, and he got the best Hector Luis Garcia anybody seen inside or outside the gym. So I don't really understand where he going around and he's scared to call these dudes out. Mike Tyson telling him to call these dudes out. Say, I want to watch you fight the dog Darrell. And he said, who, Anthony Darrell? I want to see you fight the Mexican Monster and David Benavidez. And he sit there mum. He sit there quiet. He sit there on froze. He sit there and don't disrespect nobody, bro. He could do more kissing a Canelo ass than he do dogging him out to get the fight. They feel if you disrespect Canelo, you won't get the fight. And he told you when I just read that interview that everybody want to check. And that's all he get. That's all I need to know. I don't support that fight because he gonna get in there. Maybe he finessing Canelo and trying to and get in the ring. He gonna turn into a beast. But right now, all the ass kissing, you know what I'm saying? He doing, you know what I'm saying? All the ass kissing that he doing and all the Mr. Nice Guy, he supposed to be the Clubber Lane of him and his brother supposed to be the Clubber Lane. He get in here and say, ain't nobody afraid of nobody. He said, but Mike said fear is what drive the sport. You're not scared of nobody, you're scared of losing, scared of getting humiliated or whatever like that. And get around here and say, well, ain't nobody scared of no other man. Man, that's some bull jive. I love when people say that. Because another man has your life in your hands. How many people gonna say do it? Like my man's Rodney on Baby Boy. How many people gonna say pull the trigger? Honestly, how many people gonna say I don't care, nigga, do it? Man, no, most nigga, 90% of people, men are gonna sit there and beg for their life. I got a family, I got a wife. And ain't nothing wrong with that. All these niggas say, I don't fear nobody but God. I don't fear some bullshit. Niggas fear that judge when they got your life in your hands. When you facing a felony charge, he can send you away. You fear somebody who got your life in your hand. A man, another man who got your life in your hand. I don't believe all that shit in there. People be spitting. Then he called his wife the baby mama. I was like, damn, when she see that, he said, yeah, she gonna trip when she see that. And Mike had him fooling. They smoking around him and shit. Him, Paul Pierce passing some marijuana card told around him. He like, pass this to Paul. He passed the whole blunt to Paul. He got in there and he tucked his tail. I don't know lions to tuck their tail, even though, when they on the decline, when the new young lion about to take them out. That dude tucked his tail. That nigga asked him several times to call him out. Be disrespectful. It's an entertainment business. Be disrespectful. Pull his whole card. And Charlo went there, putting his head down and start talking mellow. Where all that, where all that shit you have for Jerry Hurd or Junior Middleweight? Fight me, don't fight my brother. You know what I'm saying? Where all that at, man? He losing a lot of fans, bro. He losing a lot of respect. Forget the fans. He losing a lot of respect. And people can say, well, he don't respect the YouTube community. Well, shit, I don't care who respect who. Blood was saying that this morning. A lot of people don't respect the YouTube community. They say that, but a lot of motherfuckers they be watching though. That's the funny thing because they can't turn on ESPN and watch themselves. They can't turn on Fox and watch themselves. They can't turn on Sirius XM satellite radio and hear themselves be talking about. If anything being talked about is Canelo, Anthony Joshua, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He can't do that. So you gotta respect where your content, where your name being pumped through. His name ain't no good. And obviously he don't have no shame in his game. He don't. He perfectly comfortable in his skin. It's that Dove commercial. He comfortable in his skin. And that's fine. But stop saying that you want to fight these dudes and stop saying these dudes duck you and stop Stop wanting to fight these. Just be the champion and keep defending versus the level of opposition you defended against. What he did say he had like 9 or 10 fights that fell through. And that's messed up. But hey, then again, most of them probably wasn't about nothing. You know. But it's a good interview. Watch it. Debut yesterday, Hotboxin. Mike Tyson, Charlo. It's the last one they did. He got the clips too. You watch all the clips, and like I said, Mike tried to hype him up, man, and he ain't take the bait. So it is what it is. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. You can find me on Twitter. You can hit the Linktree app and find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, and much more there. Just hit the Linktree link in the description. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App, $, CJ Good 313, Venmo, CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. That's what a donate, comment, thumbs up, share the video, all that stuff. Check out the Box News playlist for videos like this. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.